Good evening. Two fugitives have shot at and run down police during a marathon high-speed pursuit that came to an end on the Queensland-New South Wales border.
Sean Power joins us now. Sean, it was a dramatic end to the chase.
Andrew, it certainly was a very dramatic day on Queensland roads. It all came to an end here in the middle of the M1 in Tweed Heads. But just moments ago, Queensland Police have released new vision from the Polair chopper that shows the frightening moments this all unfolded. Just take a look as you can see that original red sedan speeding down suburban streets. And then shortly after, two shirtless men jump out the back at an intersection, carjacking a black hatchback. From there they speed off before going to a shopping centre where they grab a blue Mitsubishi Lancer. Just incredible scenes, and they speed off, clipping two cars, including a silver van, which is run off the road and into a ditch before they speed off once again. But Melissa and Andrew, for those that are just joining us, let's recap how this all unfolded. 150 kilometres from where it started, the wanted car hit a police roadblock.
Got him.
Not giving up without a final fight. One of them opening fire on officers, one bullet hitting a car.
Shots fired.
Then turning their weapon on nearby drivers in a frantic attempt to get away for a fourth time.
Stand by, crossing the other side of the road. They're about to hijack another car.
One of the escapees was hit by a car and then pounced on by New South Wales officers.
One in custody.
The second one went easily.
Custody. Have the shooter in custody.
Witnesses could not believe what was unfolding on a highway packed with cars.
The car pulled over just as we came over the crest, and as he got to the middle of the road to try and pull over other vehicles, he just started shooting at them, and he shot at a guy in front of me's car. The bullet went through and ended up on the floor of the front seat.
I just dropped the kids off at the library, come down here to take some photos, and after he'd gone past, there were about 10 police cars all in chase.
The chase started in Caboolture, ducking and weaving through suburban streets on the wrong side of the road, across footpaths, over traffic islands, at times reaching high speeds, running other motorists off the road.
Onto the footpath. This guy's not giving up, is he? Nope. He's determined.
The police helicopter never lost sight of their target until it reached restricted Brisbane Air Traffic Control airspace. The bandits momentarily lost until Polair picked up the stolen car along Logan Road. Eventually, the run for freedom ended just inside New South Wales. They were facing a short stint in jail. Now, it could be years. They're expected to appear in Tweed Court tomorrow and face extradition. A possible trip back to Queensland in the back of a prison van.
Sean, have the men been charged yet?
Andrew, not yet, and here's the curveball. Given that this incident crossed state boundaries, it is now the New South Wales Police who will have the initial jurisdiction to charge these men. They are expected to face court tomorrow. It's likely we'll see them charged with attempted murder, given that they did fire, allegedly, that round at a police officer. And there will be some bit of a tussle, understandably, as Queensland Police, who monitored this situation so diligently for hours, will want to be the ones laying these charges and hopefully getting them back over state boundaries sooner rather than later.
All right, thanks, Sean. Well, let's cross now to Tessa Scott, who's in Caboolture, and Tessa, that's where it all began.
Andrew, it all began right here in Caboolture when police spotted a stolen car at a home. When they went to approach, they say two men in the car drove directly at an officer. That officer was struck on his lower leg. He's in hospital suffering a suspected broken ankle. But as we know, Andrew, it all got worse from there. They then took off, found their first victim on Pummerstone Road at Caboolture before heading north to the Glasshouse Mountains and back to Morayfield, where two people, including a woman and her baby, were held up at gunpoint at the local shop. United in disbelief, these people saw the shocking scenes unfold right in front of them. In the undercover car park of the Morayfield shopping centre, the bandits had targeted a woman who had her baby in the back at gunpoint, forcing her out of the car. Thankfully, they made her take the child out before fleeing.
She had the little baby in the car. He held her up at gunpoint, took off with her car. There was two males in the car. They seemed pretty proud of themselves. We were worried about the baby because we had the baby scream.
The thugs drove the four-wheel drive just metres to a set of red lights. Realising the car was nearly out of fuel, they quickly and callously moved on to their third car and third victim.
We were just in a couple of cars in front and we heard some screaming, so we looked back and there was a man just opened the woman's door and he just put her in gunpoint and dragged her out the car and drove off with the car.
This woman is believed to be that owner of the blue Mitsubishi Lancer.
She just ran out the car screaming at people to ring the police. The car was stolen and she was just scared.
The Hocking sisters feel like they dodged a bullet, believing they had been the men's initial targets as they were driving to the shopping centre, but refused to stop.
He swerved around us, pulled up, went on his brakes hard as he could in front of us, like just to say, you know, you're next, pretty much. We were lucky that we did swerve, otherwise they would have taken our car and we would have been held up at gunpoint. 3 carjacking victims in total, all shaken but unhurt. A community left reeling.
The offenders were desperate, and I think that was shown by their propensity to use such violence and total disregard, not only for people or their property, but they just did not care.
Tessa Scott, 9 News.